We're here for round one, and my hand is pretty awesome. There's basically not much else you can ask for besides an Ascendancy, Perfect Mana, and some spells. And I have 2 Ascendancies, so not really too upset about this. A lot of the stuff that I would want in addition to this hand can come later. Things like Treasure Cruise, removal spells. I can probably loot into that stuff, assuming one of these Ascendancies resolves, because it does look kind of like our opponent's blue-black, polluted Delta, kind of an obvious thing, but it could certainly be some Sidisi deck, or, I don't know, something weird, but Delta into Island Swamp, I mean, it's probably what's going on here. So my game plan here is to just try and sneak an Ascendancy into play, and then try and milk that for a while and make it so he has to blow a vault. But now we see an Opulent Palace, and I don't know what to think anymore. I have no idea what's going on. And unless he has exactly main deck negate, then he might be in some trouble. That is definitely not the 3rd land you want to play in your Dissolve deck. Come on. What do we got here? A Sidisi, okay. So just a slowish start. Our opponent needed his green mana to come off his Opulent Palace turn 3, so now I'm pretty happy. I think our Ascendancies are just there, unless he has something like main deck Reclamation Sage. And we can probably just start going off here in a minute. I think first I'm just going to get my loot on here. I guess I shouldn't yield to these because I might want to respond to stuff. So Seeker is certainly one of the weakest cards in my hand. I think either Plains or Temple of Triumph is the other one. So I could certainly just discard a Temple here and try and keep the Seeker. I guess I have like 2 Ascendancies, so potentially the Seeker could be pretty big. Maybe Rabblemaster is just one of the worst cards, but I have plenty of lands, and this deck generally stops at 6 or so, especially once it has Ascendancy, and I have 2, so I'm probably just going to be looting a ton. So I guess next turn I can play the Seeker, have Raise the Alarm, and just have like a 5/5 Seeker, so generally as the game progresses it is not great, but ooh, hello. As the game progresses, Seeker is not great, but with 2 Ascendancies and I'll be looting every turn and things like that, Seeker might actually end up being pretty good. And now we have a Treasure Cruise on top for my Scry, and I'm going to keep that one, surprisingly enough. And he might be giving me a little beatdowns here, but he really needs something like a Doomwake Giant, or to ramp into Hornet Queen, and those things maybe will hold me off here. But with 2 Ascendancies in play, I anticipate that I'm going to be doing a lot of crazy stuff. And to be fair, these whip decks have plenty of things that are relatively scary, right? I mean, they have the Doomwake Giants and the Drown in Sorrows after board, Reclamation Sage to blow up your enchantments and whatnot. So this matchup is not easy by any stretch, but he is not fighting my spells while they're on the stack, and he's not really fighting a lot of my stuff in game 1 unless he draws very specific parts of his deck. So okay, so his deck's a little weird. He also has like the Eidolon of Blossoms, so I guess Elvish Mystic is also kind of a weird card. But I do not mind those cards. I think they're both pretty good. Eidolon goes really well with all the other Constellation stuff, and Elvish Mystic accelerates you, so... I don't think that we found the best build for these decks yet, but, you know, that'll come with time, I think. Oh, man, he's just going off, getting so many zombies. Now I gotta see what I can do here. Farika. Alright, so... if I go raise the alarm and loot twice, then I can cruise. I don't think we really want to do that yet. I think I mostly want to play out this Seeker and have a pretty reasonable blocker. And I'm not sure if I actually get to play a land or not. I'm gonna loot twice off this raise the alarm. I can certainly discard the Rabble Master, but I want to have options here. I want to have, well, I guess I can just keep the best card out of those two. So I think playing a land is fine. Unfortunately, we can't, after we play the Seeker, we can't, like, raise, draw Stoke the Flames, kill a Sidisi, and do all sorts of cool stuff, but I think raise, loot twice, untap, treasure cruise. Hopefully that will allow me to stabilize, and I don't think he has any really attacks this turn. He does just keep making zombies, though, so I'm going to have to, like, pound through those eventually. Oh, and he has his own treasure cruise. Alright then. I suppose I should probably be looking at what he's taking. Let's see here. He got a whip. That's not good. There's a Doomwake in there. Might be in trouble. Evolving Wilds. This person's deck is kind of crazy. Just a little crazy. I wonder if I should have some way to break through ground stalls. I mean, there's like burn spells and like generally Ascendancy is enough. So it's kind of hard to say. We'll see how this game ends up. Because if it gets to the point where they bog down the ground enough and have a whip and I just can't win, then that is certainly a problem. I know that Todd Anderson has been telling me stories about like, oh, I beat like, you know, turn 3 Courser, turn 4 Doomway Giant, turn 6 Hornet Queen, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, dude, I don't understand how that happened. I feel like he might just be making stuff up. But step 1, I guess, was to get our opponent to stop attacking us. And that worked out pretty well. So, minor victory, I suppose. Now we just have to go through this mountain of triggers here. Remember, some of the old Ascendancy decks had, like, triplicate spirits. And that was never an exciting card by any means, but it did take to the skies, which might be kind of nice. So now he can whip next turn if he has another black source. And I'm not sure if that's the case or not. My you know, like my level 0 play here is to outburst, double loot, cash treasure cruise. But then I really need an instant. for my opponent's turn. Otherwise, I run the risk of just getting doom-waked, and that is not fun. So options include Stoke the Flames. That would be a good one to have. I could also potentially have Red Land plus Lightning Strike, or I could just not. I would have to draw a land though. That's the problem. I could try and cruise for 3 mana, and then just have open Jeskai Charm, but I don't know. I'm thinking it's not worth it. I'm thinking I gotta try and pull ahead here because he's got the whip, and he's gonna potentially do bad things to me in the next few turns. So, kind of feel like I have to get a little something going. So if I cruise into strike plus red mana, or Stoke the Flames, big red burn spell, then we should be in business. Alright. So far, not so good, but we have 5 more shots. That's a lot of shots. Oh, these triggers are killing me. Rabble Master, no. Stoke the Flames, yes! Yes! And then a bunch of garbage after that, but that's okay. And now we have this 8/8 lifelinker, just casually hanging out here. And we're gonna try and do some damage. Yeah, this deck can get kind of crazy. Especially when you double up on ascendancies. Like, 1 ascendancy is already just, like, pretty good, but you see here 2, and I just look down and my Seeker is suddenly an 8/8. Just like, whoa, buddy. And that's, you know, I don't even want to use the Stoke this turn, otherwise it could just be a casual 11/11, you know. It's a pretty big deal. Pretty big game. So I'm going to gain 8, go up to 22. He's going to take 5, and I'm just going to crush like most of his guys. So, okay, maybe I don't need some flyers, you know. Maybe that's good enough. Just make some dudes, force them to chump block. Although, to be fair, if he had like a Hornet Queen or something, like I would definitely be in trouble. So, gotta kill quick. Gotta go. And then we get to sideboard in some erases, which is nice. Not sure what the plan is on the other side of the table. I think it involves casting Doomwake Giant, hoping it's good, but little does he know. We have the Stoke just waiting. And it looks like, you know, the obvious play is to like play Whip and whip back Doomwake if you had another black, but it looks like that's not the case. So gonna go for a Courser Crewfix, not hit that land, which may or may not matter if he has like a Doomwake in his hand. But hey, come here, loud puppy, loud. Apologize, and that's it. All right, he just concedes. Kind of weird because I think you could do like some chump blocking and stuff. Like I might not kill you, but chances are I'm gonna kill you. So sideboarding, I definitely like the erases. Some amount of glares, or not glares, sorry. Strokes. Strokes are probably pretty reasonable. You know, it's got like Sidisi Whip, Doomwake Hornet Queen, all these pretty big cards that are pretty nice. I mean, like things like End Hostilities and Anger are generally good against Whip decks, but since my deck is going under them, I don't feel like I want that. So things that I do think I want are probably 3 strokes. I could be convinced that 3 is not enough, because it probably just counters all of his important cards, right? But I don't know. Charms can basically go. The Chandras seem like If I'm able to Lightning Strike a Sidisi, or he just does not draw one, then Chandra might be great, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that these are not going to be good. These are going to be a little too slow. And maybe that'll be different when I'm on the play, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. And then it looked like Rabble Master got gummed up there pretty quick. So I could see cutting one of those too. And this is not an exact science, this sideboarding stuff here. This is me mostly guessing because I don't know if there's like a cohesive plan that I'm supposed to be interacting post board. It just seems like, you know, you against something like Abzan, you have the End Hostilities and you have the Elspeth and Glares and whatnot. You can play like this slower game, but against like this whip deck, it's like, do you really want to do that? I don't think so. So I don't know. I think the plan A is generally pretty good in this matchup. So I do want to keep the Seekers. I want to keep all the raises. I want to keep strikes for Sidisi. Stoke is obviously pretty insane with Ascendancy, so I don't really want to cut that. It just seems like Rabble Master's not good. So that's about it. I don't mind this configuration. It looks dirty. It does not look clean whatsoever, but I think I'm fine with it. Jeskai Charm seems like the card that you would side out a lot of the time just because it's not there for anything specific, and maybe if it was a matchup that was a little bit closer, like you're racing more often, then you would want the lifelink. But that is certainly not the case here. My opponent got me all the way down to like 14 life. It was not very impressive. Hey, stop licking my microphone, stupid dog. Thoughtseize. You were probably trying to hit an Ascendancy, but you failed. But I guess if you take my Lightning Strike, then that is still pretty good for you if you have a Sidisi. And then I'm kind of in trouble. For the most part, though, my hand has a bunch of little stuff, and I don't really care what gets Thoughtseized. Yeah, like I was talking about before, this deck just puts the fear in them. They board in things like Thoughtseize, as many disenchants as they can get their hands on, just to try and kill Ascendancy, and it is entirely possible that there are some matchups where you just want to board out Ascendancy, just because they're going to have so many things against it. Now, granted, things like Thoughtseize are probably just generally going to be good against you, because if you're siding out Ascendancy, you're probably bringing in a bunch of the more expensive stuff, so it's not like you're completely blanking their Thoughtseizes, but still pretty interesting to think about. What do you take? He took the Rabble Master. I sided one of those out. I didn't even think they were good. I drew a Hordeling Outbreak. That's like a better Rabble Master. I could see fetching here. You just, you know, do whatever you want. I wouldn't mind. I guess I don't really want to draw any more lands, so I could definitely see fetching here, especially since if I draw a Temple, then I'm probably going to play it and another 2-drop. So, well, just Thoughtseize me. Man, you take all my Rabble Masters and all my fake Rabble Masters. That's so sad. Anyway, if I draw a Temple, I'm probably going to want to play a 2-drop and a Temple. And then the next turn, if I scry to the bottom, I'm not going to want to shuffle my deck and shuffle that card back in. So, yeah, I should have just played the Strand there. I don't have a ton of, like, high-end stuff, so. And I drew the Temple. I'm so stupid. So stupid. Unbelievable. Except not. That's exactly what should happen. You should make a mistake and immediately get punished for it. I hope you don't know how Magic works and you block, but you didn't. So that's okay. Stroke is probably pretty good. Yeah, Stroke has to be good here. If he plays a Sidisi, I'm going to want to strike it. And then half stroke for a follow-up like Doom Wake or Whip or whatever kind of crazy happenings are going on. Hornet Nest. Alright then. My arch nemesis. Not really. I basically beat Hornet Nest whenever I play against it, but it's kind of a struggle, you know? It slows the game down by like 3 or 4 turns at least. It's kind of brutal. Fetch in response to your fetch. Fine, man. You got it. You didn't even do anything. You're supposed to do stuff at least. Come on now. Yeah, so plan at this point. Probably involves killing that Hornet Nest with a 2/2 Seeker. And then Courser. I can't do anything to that. And another one on top? Jeez. Courser is... Look at my hand. I have Lightning Strike, Disdainful Stroke, and you just countered both of them, basically. Anyway, my plan against the Nest... Oh, man, that doesn't work because now he has Courser. My plan was to kill it with a 2/2 Seeker. And then try and trade some tokens for the Hornets. But now that he has the Courser, I can't really attack with a 2/2 Seeker anymore. So now things are kind of awkward. That's alright though. We got strokes for days. And we can afford to turtle up here for a bit. Man, why do you take my Rabble Master? You must have drawn that Hornet Nest. Because Hornet Nest is pretty good against Rabble Master. What sort of giant spell is this? Sidisi. That is fine. I kills it. I kills it. So, Magic Online trick F7. If you have 2 of the same ability on the stack that you don't have to choose targets for, just automatically puts them on the stack. So you have things like Prowess. You hit F7, puts all of them on the stack. Love it. Alright, so he mills his Eidolon, which, you know, I could take or leave, because I had this Disdainful Strokes to counter it, but he then gets it off the top and gets the final land with the Courser. So, it's a little extra value there. And now we have a Treasure Cruise. Hello. Hello. Alright. Like, is it crazy that I get unreasonably happy whenever I draw that card? And it's never just like, you know, it's just never really bad. It's like you draw it and it's like, oh man, like in a few turns I'm probably going to be crushing you. And this is awesome. I just get happy. I just like drawing 3 cards. I also like seeing the fruit of my labors being put to work. You know, I've been playing this whole game of Magic, and I've been putting a bunch of stuff in my graveyard, and now I get to actually like put that to use with something, and that feeling is just really nice. Even if I'm losing, I'm probably accomplishing something. Gonna shuffle away a whip? Is he crazy? Oh, you found a forest. Good job. These games are always so funny. It always seems like one person just gives the other person a little bit of beatdowns, you know? No. Bad whip. No resolving. See, check this out. Check this out. I click on this. Boom, both the prowesses go on the stack. It is awesome. Alright. So I know he has a forest on top, so I can just do whatever I want this turn, which is kind of cool. I could cruise for 3. I can play Raise the Alarm first and cruise for 2. Should I just cast the Raise the Alarm? Like, is that silly? Or am I supposed to wait? I feel like waiting would be better. There may come a time when I have an Ascendancy and he has a Doomwake Giant, and I need that instant. Thank you, Courser, for telling me that my opponent is not going to draw anything next turn. That was very helpful. We drew another Treasure Cruise, so that makes me feel a lot better about not playing Raise and delving my entire graveyard. And he has a Reclamation Sage on top, which means that any sort of Ascendancy is not long for this world, but that is okay. Because I just have infinite Treasure Cruises. I'm going infinite. I just know he's drawn bricks, so we just get to cruise. Just build our hand up to 7 here. We just keep cruising into cruises. We are going infinite. So he has a Sage and a Courser on top. Not too scary. Ah, jeez. Stupid Rabblemaster. Don't even think I can cast you. So I could, like, cruise again. That's certainly possible. I think I kind of have to empty my hand first so I'm not losing a ton of value when I just draw and have to discard a bunch. So I can get these outbursts out here. I can't play this Rabblemaster, unfortunately. I just don't think that works. And he has a Treasure Cruise. Well, guess it gives me a thing to stroke. That's fine. Meanwhile, your Courser rich. And I think I should be raising up here. We're just playing the game where I try and empty my hand as quickly as possible. Hopefully we draw land off these cards, and then we can end the turn with full grip, and we do. Hordeling Outburst. I'm not sure if you actually accomplish anything. I already have so many tokens. Really looking for just Ascendancy. And you will find probably that that happens a significant amount of the time. Man, I guess Jeskai Charm is good against the Nest. I could just put the Nest on top. He's about to double up on Nests. Alright, gotta counter this cruise. And I forgot what my opponent had. I know it was Reclamation Sage, but I forgot the other card. Oh, it's the cruise he's casting. Derp. It's kind of taking a while. Clock's low. I'm losing a bunch of time here, dealing with all these triggers. Another Raise the Alarm. You're like medium helpful. So I have 8 mana. Don't need this stroke. I could raise and cruise. I can just cruise, actually, I think. Well, I'm going to need to play a spell anyway, so I might as well raise. Courser's been like my best friend this game. Just always showing me what my opponent's going to draw, giving me full information. Still don't think I can attack. Especially now that he has all these nests. Maybe I'm supposed to have an anger in my die. Ooh, hello. Alright, now what happens? Does my opponent die? Is he dead yet? He has 6 blockers, and I have 3 creatures that are getting through, although I can stoke the flames of one of my opponent's creatures, so... whatever. How about we just see what happens? How about we do that? That sounds like fun. Alright, first step, play Ascendancy. Second step, erase your Courser. Oh my god, yeah, he's just unbelievably dead. You're so dead. Get out of here, Rebel Master. You stink. Excuse me. Kill all your stuff. Alright, fine. I'm kind of off it. I'm just going to attack you. I know you're dead, so I can keep going. But I don't have all day, you know? Alright, round 1 win. We did it. We successfully did not have to play against any cards that scared us whatsoever. So that was pretty fortunate.